All right, let's talk about one of nature's greatest pieces of engineering, the animal's spine. Seriously, it's so much more than just a stack of bones. It's this dynamic, incredible structure that lets animals be strong, fast, and unbelievably flexible. So, let's dive right in.
Have you ever just watched a cat twist itself into what looks like a pretzel and wondered, how in the world do they do that? Or, seen a horse gallop and just felt that raw, explosive power? Well, the secret to both, it's all in the spine. And in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on that very blueprint.
So, before we can appreciate the whole amazing structure, we've got to start small. We need to zoom way in and look at the single, fundamental building block that makes it all possible. And here it is, the vertebra. Yeah, I know, it might just look like a kind of weird, oddly shaped bone. But trust me, every single curve, every bump, every little projection on this thing has a very specific job. These are the custom-fit, interlocking pieces that build that strong, yet flexible pillar of the body.
Okay, so what's really cool is how each vertebrae is basically divided into 3 functional zones. First, you've got the body. That's the big, solid part at the bottom, and its whole job is to bear weight. Simple, but crucial. Then you have the arch, which creates this perfect little tunnel to protect the super delicate spinal cord. And finally, you see all those bony bits sticking out? Those are the processes. Think of them as levers and anchor points where muscles attach to actually make things move.
So here's the big takeaway from this part. Not all vertebrae are created equal, not even close. A vertebra from the neck that's built for turning your head looks totally different from one in the lower back that's built for power and stability. They really are like customized building blocks, each one perfectly sculpted for its unique role.
All right, now that we've met the individual blocks, let's zoom back out and see how they're all put together. We're going from a single piece to a complete, powerful structure that's cleverly divided into different functional regions.
So the spine isn't just one long chain. It's organized into 5 specialized sections. Starting from the head, you've got the cervical region. That's the neck, and it's all about mobility. Then comes the thoracic region, which is where the ribs attach to form the chest. Below that, you've got the powerful lumbar region. Think of this as the engine of the lower back. Then we have the sacral region, where the vertebrae are actually fused together to create a super strong platform with the pelvis. And finally, you've got the caudal vertebrae, which, as you can probably guess, make up the tail.
Of course, this amazing bony architecture would be pretty useless by itself, right? The bones are the frame of the car, but you still need an engine. And that's where the muscles come in. They're the engines that power every single movement.
Now, we can simplify all those complicated back muscles into 2 main teams. Sitting above the spine, you have the epaxial muscles. Their job is to extend or straighten the back. Think of arching your back upwards. And then, working from below the spine, you have the hypaxial muscles. They do the exact opposite. They're the flexors. They're the ones that bend and curl the spine downwards. It's this constant, beautiful tug-of-war between these 2 groups that creates such a dynamic range of motion. Okay, so we've got the building blocks and we've got the engines. Now for what I think is the most fascinating part, seeing how this basic blueprint is brilliantly tweaked across different animals. This is where you really see how form follows function.
So this table shows us something called a vertebral formula. It's just a simple count of the bones in each region. Now, the first thing you might notice is that pretty much all mammals have 7 neck or cervical vertebrae. But the real story is in the other numbers. Just look at the horse with 18 thoracic vertebrae versus the dog with only 13. Or how the dog has 1 more lumbar vertebra than the horse. These small differences, they create profoundly different athletes.
The horse's spine is just a masterpiece of efficiency. With more ribs and that shorter, stiffer lower back, its spine acts like a rigid suspension bridge. This design is brilliant because it minimizes any wasteful up and down bending and instead funnels all that incredible power from its hind legs directly forward into pure straight-line speed. For a prey animal that needs to escape, that's a massive advantage. But now contrast that with a dog. It's a totally different design for a totally different job. Its longer, more flexible lumbar region lets its back act like a powerful spring. A dog can coil its body up, tucking its hind legs way under its chest, and then just uncoil with this explosive force. This isn't just about speed, it's about acceleration, about stopping on a dime and making those incredibly sharp, agile turns you need when you're a predator chasing down dinner.
So, the next time you see an animal move, whether it's a horse galloping across a field, a dog chasing a ball, or just a cat stretching on your floor, you'll see more than just movement.
you'll actually see an anatomical story playing out, a story of form, function, and millions of years of evolutionary genius, all written in the language of the spine.